Yo, what's going on, guys? Today we're gonna go over the gameplay deep dive. So in my last video, I kind of went over like the MVP plus, a little bit of gameplay, and a little bit of like college football ultimate team, and a little bit of Madden football ultimate team, and like what's to come with that. This one, I want to go over strictly what's going on with the gameplay and all the updates that they've made so far that they're showing. If you look at the gameplay deep dive between college and Madden, it's actually verbatim. So it seems like they're making the games pretty similar as far as like any updates that they're making to individual games. It seemed like it's gonna kind of coincide in between both games from everything that we're at. So I want to make some key points, kind of go over some things that you guys are gonna be looking at, and some of my favorite things that they've actually made adjustments. I actually made a note with some key points on the deep dive. So let's start into it. So their big thing this year is defense wins championships. So they've watched our videos, they've read through your posts on Reddit and Twitter and X and everywhere else that you guys talk ball. One thing is very clear: offense is fun, no doubt about it. Everybody loves touchdowns, explosive plays, and putting points on the board. But our football fans were also asking for more on the defensive side of the ball: more tools, more control, more answers. They said that they heard us loud and clear. They said, though improved, there were way too many times where you felt like you had the right call on defense, but the coverage did not always play to the awareness, the urgency, or football intelligence that you expected. So this year, cover gets more intelligence, more tools, more control, and more real football answers. And note that the AI can and will use these tools well. So there's a big kind of breakdown, and there's going to be a pretty big skill gap, I believe, on adjustments, putting your guys in the right place, and putting how you want them to play is going to make a really big difference depending on the offense that you're facing. So, with quarterback depth, it allows you to control how far your cornerbacks align from the line of scrimmage. You can press, play tighter, or give more cushion depending on the situation. Based on what I saw that they revealed and on the beta, it seems like it was press 3 yards, 5 yards, and maybe 7 and 10. I'd have to double check, but it's giving you yardage as far as how far you want those DBs up against the wide receivers. Same thing with the width. It lets you adjust whether the corners align inside or wider outside, and this helps you protect against specific route threats. So if they're running a drag, obviously you're going to want to cover the inside threat. If they're going to seem like they're going to be doing a streak, you want to maybe cover that outside and push them towards the inside towards your safety help. Safety depth, it gives you more control over how deep your safeties align. Now, we could last year like kind of bring them closer or put them farther to kind of prevent the overtop. This is just kind of a little bit more in depth of what you can do on that. They also let you do a safety whip, which lets you pinch, spread, or widen your safety based on what you're trying to take away. So it's saying protect the middle, protect the sidelines, or keep a more balanced shell. This was introduced last season, but it's upgraded with more options, pretty much. It kind of just goes more in depth on what you can do, giving us more control, which I like. The safety midpoint allows safety to shift their alignment toward the left, right, strong side, weak side, field, or boundary. That gives you more control over how you want to handle offensive strength and field position. This was introduced last season and has been upgraded with more options. So a lot of these you can see upgraded with more options, but there are a ton of customizable ways that they've put into this year that is going to just expand on, I believe, the skill gap. Okay, so smart zones, it looks like that you can now adjust for the reaction logic. It's pretty much the awareness and the reaction logic that you're going to be doing. You have aggressive, balanced, conservative, ultra aggressive, ultra conservative, look for work, plaster, red zone awareness, and focus. So these are the different types that you can adjust your players to play in their zones. So aggressive, they're going to be looking for interceptions more. Ultra aggressive, they're probably going to just be jumping everything. So you're going to probably get beat over the top. I would might suggest not doing ultra aggressive, maybe on like your flats. If you're doing like if you're getting beat on like a speed out, you're playing that flat to the sideline, ultra aggressive. So he's cutting that because you know that you have safety over help. That's probably where the situation's gonna be. Plaster, I like plaster and I like look for work. So when a defender zones clear out, he does not just stand there waiting for other people to come into the zone. He physically looks, or I guess with the artificial intelligence that they have built into the game, looks to go and find where other places need to be covered. Now, obviously, this could put him out of position for other routes that are coming, and if it's the play is broken down, that can maybe come to bite you in the butt. That's where plaster comes into play. This is going to be for more your scrambling quarterbacks and like broken play throws. So all in all, It's so much more customization that we can do. Going into like the plaster logic, they have the off, which defenders stay in their assigned zone, but you have conservative backside zone. Defenders can abandon their zones and attach to the nearest receiver when the QB leaves the pocket or timer hits. This helps present easy scramble drills, throws without completely abandoning the structure of the defense. They also have aggressive, where all zone defenders can lock onto the nearest receiver once plaster triggers. This gives you maximum man coverage once the play extends, but it also means that you're giving up your zone help underneath. To me, it kind of feels like a little bit of a match. So, like when you have a match zone coverage, obviously anything that runs into your zone, you're now manning up with that guy. That's what it can feel like to me. But plaster logic, I feel like is going to be really, really good. There's an out of pocket and time. Plaster triggers only when the QB leaves the pocket and the timer is expired. This is the safest option. Or out of pocket, plaster triggers as soon as the QB leaves the pocket. So if your QB is just rolling out every single time, maybe put it on the out of pocket and time so that there's a timer so they're not just leaving their respective zones. So going into the match coverage, looks like they've added more coverage checks to help defenses handle modern offensive formations like stack, bunch, trips, and isolated wide receivers. So you have box, bingo, triangle, point triangle, skate, skinny, skinny meg, stress, stubby, stump, solo, solo cut, and zone it. So these are going to be all your different adjustments. Pretty much what this is there's going to be ways to where if they have bunch over here and you're running a match, okay, it's not going to necessarily make it to where they can kind of dumb you out if they run into you and kind of do those like screens. Like in basketball, you have the screens, those screen plays where they're kind of cutting you off. This will help you kind of do some switch and matching based on what they're running. So another thing that they did is defensive playbooks built for identity. They added 16 more formations, I believe is what they said. Yeah, so they added 16 new defensive formations, including 3-3-5, 3 high over, which 3-3-5 high is really good. I really like that formation. 4-2-5, 3 high, 3-4 grizzly, nickel double, mug looks, wide jack fronts, single mug dime packages, new tight and under fronts, and several new pressure structure built specifically to answer modern spread offense. If you get anything out of just their breakdown, I mean, it's a ton of information. My biggest thing to you would be defense is going to matter this year if everything plays how they say it's going to play. Okay? Putting all this stuff on pen and paper, great. You can say this is everything that you did. If it doesn't play well in the game, then obviously we're going to have an issue. But everything they're saying is what we want. It's going to make defense matter. It's going to be easier to stop offense if you are putting in the time, you're learning the adjustments, and you're adjusting on the fly. And you can also have your macros, right? So there's 10 different types of macros that you can put into have as like a quick adjustment, and we'll go over that right now. Okay, so this is a tweet from Xerxes. I couldn't find the screenshots in the actual deep dive, but pretty much as you can see, there's 10 different macros that you can set. So you could do it to where this guy is on a hard flat, but this guy is in a purple. This guy is blitzing. This is in a QB contain. This is on a spy. And it will adjust all that. You can put the stunts in, and you can rename them so they're not just going to be macro 0 to macro 7, it says, but there's I know there's 10. So you can scroll over. So there will be 10 different adjustments that you can do, and this is going to be for offense and for defense. So it's going to be game changing. Now, back to Madden's big thing that they introduced. I believe it was Madden 20 was the first time that we got these abilities and built on X factors and stuff like that. But back then, you could only have it on 3 players. Before then, there was like other abilities that like players could get, but there was nothing to like this extent. So this year, they're actually putting in Madden how college football has their tiers. So in college football, you have bronze, silver, gold, platinum, and Heisman tier for your abilities. Now, they are bringing that into Madden, but it's going to be a little bit different. So they have bronze, silver, gold, and theirs aren't going to tier necessarily like college football. So theirs at bronze, you unlock increase hit success if you do Enforcer. That's already a game-changing tool, but at silver, your timing windows on those hit sticks becomes even more forgiving. At gold, you add a fumble chance bonus on top of everything else. Lurker works the same way. Bronze unlocks jumping interceptions and diving swats. Silver adds elite tip ball reaction, and gold gives you improved ball security and unlimited stamina after the interception. So these are just how they're breaking it down. They're integrating both the games. They're going to have now tier system abilities. They do look like they still have X factors in Madden. They didn't confirm that, but just based on this Myles Garrett who has unstoppable force, that's an X factor. So I'm assuming that they're keeping X factors in Madden. I don't think we'll have X factors in college football. I think college football will keep how they just have the 5 tiers, and they'll keep it like that. Now, another big thing that they brought into this game is timing based catching. Now, in the video, they showed how the timing based catching works. I will say in the beta, we can't really talk about the beta. I'm not going to show any videos of the beta, but it's a little wonky. I'm going to give my personal feedback on it. Right now, I'm going to be playing with this option off. You can have it set to it activates at 0 yards, 5 yards, 10 yards, or 20 yards to where you actually have to activate the timing based catching. Personally, I'm going to be playing with it off until more information comes out. I test it more. To me, the pros and cons of it, it's just not worth risking missing a wide open pass where once you guys get the hands on the game, and maybe they'll fix it. And like I said, I'm going to give my personal feedback. I'm not going to talk too much about it. I don't want to get in trouble or anything like that. But personally, I'm playing with it off right now. I do want to test it a little bit more and see how it works. You can have it on for offense and for defense. But right now I'm playing with it off. But this is a big thing that they've brought in. That is just timing. All it is there's a green, a yellow, and a red window. And if you hit it in the green, you have a highest percentage. Yellow, and then red, you just drop the ball. Now, your hit stick button. Everybody knows the right stick, okay? Up is hit stick still. Down is cut, like the cut tackle. And then you got left for lunge, and you have right for wrap tackle. So they're giving you a little bit more control just with the stick. So you're not having to hit your buttons. So instead of pressing X to dive, you can do a lunge tackle with the left. Or you can just do a simple conservative tackle like A, but you can do that with your right stick to the right. Now, that's pretty much all there is that I kind of want to go over as far as gameplay. Like I said, there's a ton of information. Go to the EA forums, look up the deep dive, and read everything for yourself. They've got this features button, and it shows you gameplay, presentation, franchise, superstar, Madden Ultimate Team, and all features. One thing I do want to go over in this Madden Ultimate Team that I think is cool is this Ultimate Captain thing. Now, does this mean we can choose any card in the game? Or are they going to give us select players? We don't know. If you could choose any card in the game, this would be insane. So pretty much what it could be is you could choose your favorite player. So you could choose Caleb Williams. If your favorite player is Caleb Williams, you get his card, and throughout the entire year, you can now Evo and upgrade it because he is your ultimate captain. It reminds me a little bit of Mutt Master, but it looks like it's giving us a little bit more control and who we get to pick. So all in all, it seems like they're listening to us. This probably... I don't want to say probably because you never know, but this might be the best Madden and this might be the best college football that they ever release, or at least up until this date, if all these changes are actually implemented correctly and it plays out how we're seeing it. I love a lot of the things that they're doing, and I'm really excited to get my hands on the game. So if you guys want to come and watch and see what we're going to be doing here, subscribe, like the video, and we'll be back for more.